Dealers, in this episode, we're going to talk about follow-ups. They are critical in our securing or losing deals. And so it's important that we understand why follow-ups are important and they help us stay connected and avoid missing valuable opportunities. They reinforce relationships and show care for others' needs. Learn how to excel at follow-ups in this episode of Down Payment.
Welcome to Down Payment, the podcast for used car dealers. Prepare to learn something new about the industry that keeps us moving.
Check out all our podcast content on our social media channels. We are at Down Payment Podcast on YouTube, Down Payment Podcast on Instagram, and Down Payment Pod on X. Welcome back. In this episode, I want to talk about what is important sales skill, and that is the skill of follow-ups. It's something that we need to be training our staff on because we encounter them so often in the sales experience. So follow-ups are about providing service and clarity and emotional support to our customers. And we have to use follow-ups when, for whatever reason, the customer decides to slow the sale. I call them slow the sale cues. So stuff like, not yet, I'm unsure, I need more clarity, I'm nervous about the numbers, I need someone else's approval. Ways that the customer uses to break contact with your operation, whether it's your salesperson, your BDC. For whatever reason, the customer wants a stop in action, and we use the follow-up to reapproach that customer. And they happen in a lot of different ways and a lot of different timings along the sales process. But wherever they land, we have to have some degree of emotional intelligence and preparation trained up in the part of our people in customer service facing roles, BDC and sales being the most important ones. So when that customer uses a slow the sale cue, we need to be prepared to reestablish contact at an appropriate time to follow up with that customer. So a well done follow-up builds trust. It shows reliability without being pushy. It provides clarity to the customer, so it helps them understand their options and pricing if that was a reason why they decided to slow the sale. And it helps continue the momentum towards a closing without overwhelming the customer and driving them away. Insufficient follow-up doesn't drive your customers to competitors. It results in the customers becoming inactive. And so we want to make sure that we have a good, timely, but well executed follow-up. So much of our emphasis in follow-ups traditionally is just to be super aggressive. We want to contact them. We want to contact them a lot. We want to overwhelm them. And it drives a negative sales experience. So let's talk a little bit of the psychology behind the follow-up. Why is a customer wanting to delay their decision to buy? It could be a variety of different reasons, and it's often psychological. They're delaying their decision due to some sort of emotional factor like anxiety about their ability to make the payment or their credit. It may be because of fear. They have a fear of making a mistake and making a bad purchase. They might be overwhelmed from too many choices. They might have past dealership trauma, and it's causing them to put the brakes on the sale. Or they may need to wait on a spouse or family member to give input on the sale. Maybe they're worrying about judgment. They just aren't ready to make the sale at this point in time. You want a follow-up that offers them emotional stability so that they feel safe, understood, supported, and in control of the sales process. Too much of our traditional sales training was designed to wrestle control from the sale, from the customer, and we wanted a very heavy-handed sales psychology approach. Unfortunately, that has backfired on this industry in spectacular fashion. And what used to work 20 or 30 years ago now is spectacularly unsuccessful with especially your millennial and Gen Z buyers. They're not going for it. And funny enough, the generations that used to deal with that have also become immune to it. They call it those traditional, sales schemes and techniques and all of that, and they aren't hearing it. So This is a great opportunity when we're focusing on follow-ups to drive that good value-based sales experience. So as your customer has put the brakes on the sale, they've given you slow the sale cues. You want to give them a little bit of time for emotions to settle and the customer to be able to make decisions more clearly and confidently. So now, what does a successful follow-up look like? First of all, it's human and conversational. It's personalized for their reasons for buying. It's not some psychology that you learned out of a cheap textbook. It is something that is personal to the customer, showing that you understand their sales motivations, their concerns, and is responding to their needs. It should be short and simple and easy to respond to. It should be consistent, but it should not be pushy. And it should be adding value or clarity to the customer. That's one of the principles behind value-based sales, is that as the salesperson, we are deriving value to the customer with our knowledge and expertise. If your message doesn't lead to a little bit of progress on those fronts for the customer, then it's just merely extraneous noise that's overwhelming them. So, every message in a follow-up should be a helpful step. It shouldn't be a sales pitch. So examples could be, so you wanted an updated trade value. Might that help with numbers? It could be something like, would a quick payment estimate help? I have a payment calculator here for you. It could be, I recorded a short walk around video showing features of this vehicle that you might like. I wanted to give you some additional information about this vehicle. Since safety for the kids are important, here's a quick safety video, real customized videos specific to addressing customer needs. We actually talked about that in a very recent episode of Down Payment. These small steps in follow-up help build larger momentum, driving the customer through the sales process at the speed that they want to go. There's so many dealerships that I look at their sales process and they only know one speed. We're going to get you through our sales process today in, X amount of time. And that's the way we do things here. I really cringe when I hear salespeople talk about that's the way we do things here. Because what you're saying is, I can't address you where you're at. You can only buy from us if you're at where we're ready to take you. And that is a sales process that inherently drives away traffic. You want to give urgency for the sale using that principle of scarcity, but in a right way. So it might be saying that I know you're not ready yet. These models tend to move fast, so I'll keep an eye on it for you. We're going to get another one in if this one happens to sell. That's a better message to deliver than you better hurry or it's gone. Like, come down now because I've got 5 other people that want to buy this car. That is straight old school pressure tactics, and it's just not effective, and it's going to drive your customers to your competition. Now, here's a little roadmap for follow-ups. Same day, express appreciation. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate your time. Next day, add value. Send them a video, send them information, send them an update. Then in a 48 to 72 hour time frame, that's your window to clarify things. Make sure that you're asking questions. Are the features and numbers still aligning with what you need? Is this meeting your goal? What do you need from me? And then follow up in like a week or so later with a soft re-engagement. Train your people in soft re-engagement. Hey, still here whenever you're ready. No pressure. Just wanted to reach out to you. Now, if the vehicle the customer was looking at, provide alternatives. That one got sold, but a similar one is going to be here in the next day or two. Want to take a look? I would love for you to be the first one to see it. And then we have soft re-engagement. 30 days out, we want that long-term reconnection. Hey, checking in. Did you find a good fit? I knew you were prioritizing this feature or that feature. Do you want me to keep looking for you? We want to be able to meet these customers on a variety of different timeframes with an appropriate re-engagement, customized for the customer's needs. If we can train our people to be perceptive at that, instead of using old school, long discredited sales tactics, they are going to be powerhouses in not only selling to your customers that time, but bringing them back for multiple sales on a repeat basis, driving down your cost of customer acquisition, and making your dealership stand out. I would love to hear your thoughts about other ways to do follow up with your customers, but these are a few best practices and thoughts that we have. I would love to hear yours. With that, go sell some cars. It's been another episode of Down Payment. Check out our podcast on all our social media channels. We are at Down Payment Podcast on YouTube, Down Payment Podcast on Instagram, and Down Payment Pod on X.
Thank you for listening. Down Payment, the podcast for used car dealers, is a production of Meta Financial Services Incorporated.